to it as well. This is a man that's come all the way from New York, New York. He's from Everyman Espresso. His name is Sam Lewontin. Please put your hands together for the final competitor of the 2015 United States Barista competition.
Yeah. How are you guys feeling? Feeling good? You've probably had slightly more coffee than I have today. Feeling good? They give you some saltines? Yeah. Just want to drink one last round of drinks? All right. It's gonna be fun. Thanks, guys. I got it. Time. When you think about it, the phrase, just a cup of coffee, is ridiculous. Coffee is incredibly complicated. Hundreds of interconnected processes and considerations contribute to every cup of coffee ever served and the stories of those cups of coffee. Now, I love these stories. They inspire me. But I can't share that inspiration with my guests by dazzling them with that complexity. Instead, I share that inspiration by using an understanding of those processes and those considerations to create experiences that are simple and accessible. So let's take a look at how that's done, starting with an understanding of the coffee itself. The coffee I'm going to serve you guys today comes from a farm in El Salvador called Finca Los Alpes. It's run by an awesome, progressive coffee producer who you've probably heard of, Aida Batier. Now, one of the things that makes this coffee so distinctive is that it comes exclusively from trees that have been identified as belonging to a Kenyan variety. Now, we're not sure exactly which variety we're dealing with here, but those fruit flavors that make Kenyan coffee so wonderful, it gives this coffee a lovely red currant flavor. All right. Unlike a lot of Kenyan coffees, this coffee is dry fermented for only 24 hours before it's sent to be washed, which means that that intense savory quality that we so often find in Kenyan coffees never has a chance to develop, leaving us instead with crisp acidity and delicate sweetness. Now, Finca Los Alpes is the highest elevation of all of Aida's farms, and that means that this coffee is extraordinarily dense for El Salvador. Ryan McKee at Counterculture noted this density when he roasted this coffee and approached it the same way he would a Kenyan coffee. This meant giving it a little bit more heat through the development to prevent it from baking, and developing some flavors of toffee and pecan in the process. I am also going to approach this coffee as I would a Kenyan coffee, starting with about 21 grams of dry mass, and looking for about 34 grams of output in 24 seconds. This is going to bring those flavors into balance and give me a mouthfeel that is syrupy, velvety, and coaty. Now, none of this knowledge is useful to you guys unless I can use it to create a drink for you guys to enjoy. And right here, right now, that's these espressos. So if you enjoy these, I am going to be right back. I'm going to go get started on your next course. There you go. Enjoy it. coffee to tell me what it's going to taste like or way. I'm also using it to tell me what coffee to serve on a given occasion. When I first tasted this coffee, I knew that it was the coffee I wanted to serve you guys today. And I knew that because it's frankly one of the best coffees I've ever had. And because I knew that the depth of those pecan and toffee flavors meant that they would be communicated very articulately in milk. Now to complement those flavors, I'm using a whole milk from the Organic Valley Farmers Cooperative. I love this milk both because it's very thoroughly homogenized, which gives me great control over its texture, allowing me to create that velvety pudding mouthfeel that communicates the flavors in the coffee so well, and a lovely, understated sweetness of its own, which in these cappuccinos reads just like butter. So here's one for you. There you go. Enjoy that. Sorry. Here's one for you, Aaron. Enjoy. I'm gonna be right back with another scent for you guys. So flavor and texture aren't all that influence your enjoyment of a drink. There's a whole world of other seemingly inconsequential factors of service, all of which also contribute to that enjoyment, and all of which need just as much consideration. Everything from the colors and materials used to define the space, to the order of the service itself, down to something as seemingly trivial as the weight of a cup in your hand, or the way the lip of the cup feels when you drink out of it. All of these things influence your enjoyment of that drink in front of you. So there you go. Enjoy that. And last but certainly not least, there you go. Enjoy. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get started on your next and final course. all of this knowledge of service, of flavor, and of the coffee itself, and use it to create experiences for my guests that draw her into the story of this coffee? Well, let's start with how the coffee tells its own story in flavor. Right? When I first tasted this coffee, it told me that story in lovely, soft florals, evoking the flowering coffee tree. It told me that story in fruits, evoking the coffee cherry. It told me that story in acidity, evoking processing, and it told me that story in some lovely browning flavors, evoking roasting. Now, in the drink that I'm about to prepare for you, the coffee provides those fruits and those browning flavors. For florality, I'm going to add 3/4 of an ounce of a syrup that I've prepared by steeping chrysanthemum flowers in water and dissolving demerara sugar in the resulting liquor. Now, chrysanthemum isn't a super common ingredient in the Americas, but it has a wonderful, soft florality that complements that red currant in the coffee very well. For acidity, we'll turn to how this coffee was processed. In fermentation, acetobacteria convert alcohol into acetic acid, which both loosens the fruit from the seed and enhances the acidity of the coffee itself. So, to enhance the acidity of the coffee in this drink, I'm going to use 1.5 grams of distilled white vinegar. Next, I'm going to muddle grapefruit peel. The bitterness from the pith is going to balance the sweetness and the acidity in the drink. And the fruity and floral qualities of the zest are going to tie together that fruit from the coffee and the florality of that chrysanthemum syrup. Next, I'll add ice. Here we are. And stir. This is going to both dilute the drink, spacing those flavors out and making them more accessible, and cool it down to a really pleasant drinking temperature. And finally, to finish each one of these drinks, I'm going to express the oil of another slice of grapefruit peel over the top. That's going to get that, in conjunction with the shape of these glasses, is going to give you just an extra little pop of that fruity, floral grapefruit aroma and really draw you into the glass by the nose. There you go. After all this, though, I want this drink to be simple and accessible. So I don't have any instructions for you other than just to sip and enjoy. Here you go. Go ahead, guys. So the final piece of this puzzle is knowing my audience. I know you guys well enough to know that all this information that I've shared with you is going to enhance your experience of this coffee and this service. It's just as important that I know when my guests aren't ready for that kind of information, so that I can step back, let all the work we've been discussing speak for itself, and allow my guests to enjoy just a cup of coffee. Thank you so much. Time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lewontin from Everyman Espresso, New York, New York. Thank you.
Hold on.
I know you'd appreciate it too.
Thank you.
This, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is the 6th and final competitor for the 2000.